In the 1970s, playing an alien on the hit TV show Mork and Mindy. He went on to star in more than 3 decades of Hollywood hits, including the great Mrs. Doubtfire, The Wonderful Voice in Aladdin, who can forget Good Morning Vietnam, Patch Adams, The Birdcage. Dozens of other hits are the list of this man's great achievements in entertainment. He blended manic comedy with powerful moments of emotion, like this scene from the Dead Poets Society.
A little secret for you. Huddle up. Huddle up! We don't read and write poetry because it's cute. We read and write poetry because we are members of the human race. And the human race is filled with passion. Medicine, law, business, engineering, these are noble pursuits and necessary to sustain life. But poetry, beauty, romance, love, these are what we stay alive for. To quote from Whitman, "Oh me, oh life of the questions of these recurring, of the endless trains of the faithless, of cities filled with the foolish, what good amid these, oh me, oh life? Answer, that you are here, that life exists and identity, that the powerful play goes on and you may contribute a verse. That the powerful play goes on and you may contribute a verse." What will your verse be?
What will your verse be? Carpe diem. All of that inspiring many young men and women probably to be English teachers, and all of us to want to have an English teacher like that. We're going to have a lot of Robin Williams' great work throughout this broadcast. But first, let's go to Trace Gallagher, who joins us now with the latest on the details of this emerging story tonight as we go back and forth between the news and the reminiscing. The latest from the sheriff's office in our West Coast newsroom. Good evening to you, Trace.
Good evening, Martha. We are just now learning that Robin Williams was last seen alive at 10 o'clock last night at his home in Tiburon, California, which, for those who don't know, is just north of the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco in Marin County. The 911 call did not come in until 11:55 this morning, and by the time authorities got to his house just before noon, Robin Williams was not responding. He was not breathing. He was pronounced dead just shortly after noon. The cause of death, the sheriff's department believes, is asphyxiation. They believe this was a suicide, but the family will not confirm a suicide. His wife releasing a statement that says, and I'm quoting here, "This morning I lost my husband and my best friend, while the world lost one of its most beloved artists and a beautiful human being. I am utterly heartbroken. On behalf of Robin's family, we are asking for privacy during our time of profound grief. As he is remembered, it is our hope the focus will not be on Robin's death, but on the countless moments of joy and laughter he gave to millions." We all know that he had a very well-publicized struggle with addiction, cocaine, alcohol in the 70s and 80s. He cleaned up in the 80s, but then he checked into rehab again in 2006 after 20 years of sobriety, and we have just learned that just a few weeks ago he was back in rehab for alcohol. A guest appearance it was on Laverne and Shirley so many years ago that led to that famous role of Mork from Ork in Mork and Mindy, and then, as you said, Martha, on to movies, both dramatic and comedies. He was deadly serious and laugh out loud funny. Entertainment Weekly called him the funniest man alive. His hero was Jonathan Winters. They would sit up in an attic, Williams said, and grab one toy and improvise about it for 1 hour. He was married 3 times, 3 children, and as you might imagine, the reaction is coming out. Steve Martin quoting here, "I could not be more stunned by the loss of Robin Williams. Mensch, great talent, acting partner, genuine soul." And finally, John Cusack writing, "Beyond a great talent, such a kind and loved person." The Sheriff's Department will hold a news conference concerning his death, Martha, tomorrow, late morning. Martha.
Trace, thank you. As Trace just mentioned, during the 1970s, Gary Marshall was the producer of the mega hit Happy Days when he first auditioned a fast-talking comic by the name of Robin Williams. Marshall then gave Williams a cameo as the character of Mork, an alien who tries to kidnap Richie Cunningham back to his home planet. You remember those episodes? They were great. And that led to Mork and Mindy, the show that would make Williams a household name. Let's watch.
You're not a priest. Who are you?
I am Mork from Ork. Nanu.
Mork?
Yes, you see, Ork is a planet. You follow the Big Dipper till it comes to a dead end, then you hang an up.
I'm up.
Up, down, hard to tell out in hyperspace.
Oh, right. I have a poor sense of direction myself. So, you're from outer space.
Yes, you mind if I take a few pictures for the folks on the home planet? They'd like to get some postcards.
No.
Okay, watch the fluky.
How did you do that?
With my instrumental glove, some models starting in the 33 bits.
Pam Dauber, great stuff. They taught each other all kinds of life lessons along the way, Mork and Mindy did, and I'm joined now by Dave Kaplan, a celebrity journalist who interviewed Robin Williams. Dave, welcome.
Hi
Good
there.
to have you here tonight. Such a shock.
Yeah, and completely shocking. I saw this, come across Twitter, completely stunned because, Robin Williams was spotted just a few months ago in June at a rehab facility in Minnesota, and his rep was saying he was really going for this tune-up. He hadn't fallen off the wagon, so everything was looking great. So to hear this, just shocking.
The word is that he was very depressed lately. He talked a lot about financial woes, about downsizing. He made a lot of jokes about all of the money that he lost through his divorces. What do you, anything that you're hearing about what may have been at the heart of that depression?
He was a tortured soul. Some people, that's in their DNA, and I think you see that with a lot of celebrities that really span the spectrum. Everyone from the likes of Halle Berry, even she's spoken about that, and obviously completely different type of person, but people in Hollywood, they're very complex characters. He said he was depressed from the outside. We wouldn't get that. He had all this, incredible films behind him. And I should also add what's really important, he has 4 more films coming out over the next 12 months, including holiday films.
He worked a lot.
Yeah, so to think we're going to be seeing him on films, especially when you think for Christmas time, it's going to be unbelievable. And like you mentioned, I interviewed him before, and I'm a huge fan of his. I thought he was incredible. I loved him in Mork and Mindy, Good Morning Vietnam, Mrs. Doubtfire, one of those films that's on late at night almost every other day, you just got to watch. And what's really struck me about him was that I was like, oh my gosh, you're a fan, even if you're a journalist, you still sort of, you can't help yourself. And I was like, you're so funny, you're amazing. And he was still very kind of humble about it. And I thought he was like this god, this funniest guy. But you could still see that there was not almost like a dark side to him as well, that he wasn't sort of jumping on the bandwagon like, oh yeah, cracking jokes and making funny, but a huge loss because he was such a strong character actor.
He was incredible. And that manicness. I years ago, I had a friend who was an acting teacher here in New York who I knew, and he said he taught him at Juilliard.
Yeah.
And he said he would disappear for days. And we'd be like, where is he? Where is he? And then suddenly he would show up and do this unbelievable Hamlet and leave everyone in the room in tears. I mean, he was incredible.
I think it was that energy really that left, and even honestly his physicality in this sense so silly. He would even talk in interviews, I remember that he was sort of this like hairy guy, and he thought that was so funny, and everyone loved that, like the most random things that we would think was weird. Exactly.
Dave, thank you very much. Good to have you here tonight.
Thanks a lot.
So news of Robin Williams' death hit Hollywood as stars and fans gathered for a movie premiere tonight in Hollywood. Susan Hirosuna of our Fox affiliate KTTV in LA is live at Williams' Star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame tonight. Susan, welcome. Good evening.
Thank you very much, Martha. Yeah, indeed, we are here on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Now, normally, in this kind of situation, when a favorite star has passed, this area would be filled with flowers and fans, candles, people paying homage to the man who has entertained us for as long as he has. But because of that Hollywood premiere, it's the opening night for Expendables 3, so there are a lot of fencing and a lot of blocked traffic, and it's actually quite difficult for those who are here here because they want to pay homage to Robin Williams to actually get to his star. Instead, I want to show you what it looks like to the right of me. This big black wall here, that is shielding the fact that on the other side is the red carpet for Expendables 3, and that is why it's so difficult for the fans to come here. We did manage to talk to a couple of people who made it through the traffic, made it through this line in order to lay some flowers down. A man came by with a sketch. He said that he had met Robin Williams once, and Robin said to him, "We like the smile in your eyes." And another man who was there in Afghanistan when he was on a tour there, and Robin Williams came around to the backstage, and the soldier was startled, and basically Robin Williams said, "Thank goodness you're a fan, because otherwise I don't want to see what happens if you were not." That is the situation here, and as I said, people are learning about his death because we're here. The media is right here.
There's going to be a lot of shocked people as they arrive there tonight, and their reaction. No doubt we're going to hear some of that from the red carpet. Susan, thank you very much for being with us. So the director who worked